My fiance's best friend sent me proof of her cheating at her bachelorette party. First of all, sorry for mistake, I'm writing in a state between exhaustion and being completely drunk. So yeah, pretty common story, met her 5 years ago at uni, fell deeply in love and thought she was the love of my life. 5 years of relationship, she decided to ducking crush El Mao. I want to break my skull right now. We were not a perfect couple, but damn, we were close. Her family liked me, and while I don't really have one, I felt so welcomed in theirs. We had projects. The first one was me buying this big now garbage of a house near the sea, building a family on our own, on my own. I proposed to her earlier this year, and I couldn't think of a better night than this one. Why she had to throw everything away like that. Yesterday morning, I woke up with big headache from my little party with the boys, and what a surprise when I saw that my fiance's best friend sent me not 1 but 5 videos. How naive I was thinking, oh cool, they had fun, must be some fun or embarrassing moments lol. To summarize the 5 videos. Her kissing at least 3 others guys, making out really passionately with one. I mean really passionately, licking champagne on his body, and finally her being lifted up into a room and a lot of noises from behind the door. My friends are still with me, as dumbfounded as I am. I guess she slept most of yesterday because I had the first text last night and a crap ton of them plus calls since this morning. I only asked her yesterday to tell me the truth, and she played like nothing happened. I just can't. I swear to God it's crushing my mind. She just begging on text for me to pick up, saying it's not what I think, how cliché right. Even her best friend is trying and told me we need to talk. I picked up just once, told her I know for the guy, and bam, blank silence. Then sobbing and crying, telling me to meet to talk and explain because it's not what it looked like before I hung up and turned off my phone. Even asking me who was the witch that sent me the vids. Guys, I really thought I could have my own family. It was hard growing in foster. I guess I only have my bros and my job left. Update. The wake-up was hard, but I want to first thank all the kind messages and advices I got. For the people who insulted my fiancé, please don't do that, even though I understand how you feel. For now, I just need to get back home, so I texted her that she had until this afternoon to pack some stuff and leave to her parents' place, and of course, not with the car I bought for her. She called me and begged for a chance to explain. So there was crying guilt trip that I'm not believing her over someone I don't really know, telling me nothing happened in the room and that the kissing was all she did. At this point, I was at my break point, but I held tears and asked to tell me all the truth or ID just disappear from her life. So more crying until she confessed that all she did was BJ, on her and on him. Detailed, but nothing more happened because she stopped. She swore that's all she did, but how can I be sure? I never saw her that panicked over something. She even proposed something like a free pass for me to cheat on her on anyone I'd like, WTF. I can't even describe how sick and disgusted I felt while hearing all this. I hung up because, well, is there more to say? Through all the messages and calls from her friends and family, it was mostly messages telling me to pick up and talk with fiancé. Like a lot advised, I told a friend of mine to download the vids on his stuff, phone and computer, because I can't stand to have this on mine. I also picked up when her BF called me and basically she explained that another girl invited her brother who is a stripper and his friends. That's why I already saw his face somewhere. She then took a solid 20 minutes telling me she betrayed fiancé because how much she didn't deserve me, how I was too good, handsome, attractive, and wealthy for her. I asked her if fiancé ever did something like that before, but she told me no. I asked her if drugs could have been used, and she told me no too, because she was still going after the cheating. She then offered to come to my place in order to support me, but I kindly declined. I need to be alone right now. Wedding has been canceled, but I didn't told the reason to the parents yet, and I turned off my phone all week. I took a break from work, and my days RN mostly consist of going to bars and get so drunk I pass out. At least we had a good laugh with the boys, even if I can hardly remember the last parts. Thanks again. Never thought this would blow up that fast. I'm kind of a very introverted person. I meet my current friends, only have 4 but can't thanks them enough, through my fiancé. She was the popular type in uni while all I did was studying and playing basketball. She was my first relationship, my first time, my first everything. Throwing up 5 years just like that. She keeps on texting me to meet and talk about this like adult, sending me what she ate like nothing happened, and then trying to talk about our dreams together. That's so ducked up, but fortunately, there is a nice old and expensive bottle of whiskey waiting for me. Edit. Also, for all the people telling me to get with her best friend, it is not my priority. Fiance contacted me again and offered me to monitor all her accounts, not drinking or going out without me, etc. I'm not a jail guard. It will be my last update on this. I won't post anymore, and mostly delete this account later. Edit 2. The story hit TikTok, thanks for telling me, and my step-family saw it through the younger brother. I won't update anymore, but thanks everyone. Alright, after almost 3 months since my last post, I thought I owe you all an update after everything that happened. The last months have been a roller coaster of emotions, but I guess it's all part of moving forward. As promised, I deleted the original account, but before that, I collected the videos that her best friend sent me onto a thumb drive, and I returned the ring that I had given her. It was a bittersweet moment as I sent it via courier to her parents' house along with the thumb drive and a letter explaining that the wedding was canceled. There was something final about it, like shutting a door that I don't think will ever open again. Shortly after, I found her stuff on my porch. It was neatly packed in boxes, and the key to my house was on top of the pile. I felt a strange sense of emptiness and relief seeing those boxes. I have stayed mostly no contact with her. However, she tried multiple times to reach me, through texts, calls, even showing up at my place crying. Every time I turned her away, ignored the texts, the calls. It was easier than I thought it would be, maybe because the betrayal cut so deep. Her parents did try to reach me, after receiving the package, I guess. I chose not to answer those calls. As much as I had been part of their family, their daughter had ruined any bridge that was left. Her best friend has tried reaching out to me a couple of times, offering support, and apologizing for her role in what happened. I appreciated it, but I didn't think it was appropriate to stay in contact with her. I took some time off from work to try and get my head straight. It was hard in the beginning waking up in that big house alone. Every room reminded me of her, so I decided to make some changes. I redecorated, moved around the furniture, painted some walls. The house started to feel like mine, and the memories of her started to fade a little. I also started spending more time with my friends. They've been a great support system and helped me get through the toughest times. And for those who suggested therapy, thank you. I started seeing a therapist a couple of weeks ago, and it's been really helpful in processing everything that happened. I've also been trying to focus on my career and personal development, focusing on myself for the first time in a long time. It's not easy, but I am trying. So, that's where I am now. It's not great, but it's getting better every day. The pain is still there, but it's more of a dull ache than a sharp sting. I'm not sure if I'll ever fully get over this, but I know I'm moving forward. Edit. To everyone asking, no, I haven't started dating yet. I think it's too soon. I need some more time to heal. I'll get there eventually, though. Edit 2. For those asking about the car, I did take it back. It was in my name after all. Today I caught my wife of nearly 4 years cheating on me. Bit of background. My wife was going on a night out with one of her girlfriends. Her friend picked her up and they went into town. Wife forgot her key. I needed to keep the back door unlocked. It gets to 1 a.m. I send her a text saying, don't be too late due to the door being open. No response. 2:30 a.m. still not home. At this point, I start calling, but there is no answer. Fast forward to 8 a.m. 70-ish calls later and still no sign of her. I was very worried at this point. Backtrack a little to around 1 a.m. when I notice on her laptop, which she left on but on the lock screen, a notification of a Facebook message from a random guy telling her what bar she was in, but then no further messages. So then this morning she finally texts me to say she is at her friend's. I then check the laptop again and see an exchange of messages between her and said friend. I can't see what wife is saying, just friend's responses. The friend was asking if she was home yet and when she would go home. She then asked her wife, what is your story? I will make sure I stick to it. They then planned the story about why she had to take a taxi home, and a friend was saying, don't worry, for all he knows you were here asleep in my spare room. After a few further messages, the best message of the lot was sent. So how big was his Johnson then? I photographed all the messages. Later, when my wife returns home, at first I play it cool like I don't know what went on. She is walking around the house acting perfect like nothing was wrong. Eventually, I confront her and show the messages. At first, she swore blind she was at the friend's house and that I could call her to check that. Of course I could. They had already got their stories straight. When I showed her the last message, she eventually admitted she was at this guy's house, slept in his bed, but nothing happened. I calmly left the house with her yelling at me to leave. 12 hours later, I am now not speaking with her or responding to messages. She started saying she did nothing wrong and that I was the one throwing it all away. Apparently, me leaving was proof I never loved her. Now we are at the borderline emotional blackmail stage, claiming she is heartbroken along with her son, not mine. He is from a previous relationship. I feel she is trying to make me feel bad about leaving, like I should go running back to her. She broke my trust, and for me, that's the end. She still swears nothing happened between them. I don't have solid evidence they did sleep together, but I feel the evidence strongly points towards that. She wants to talk like adults and sort things out. In all honesty, I don't even think this is the first time she has done this. Now I know she is capable of it. How do I get past this? Currently, I have zero intention of going back to her. I don't know what to do with myself. Any advice on how to handle this? Edit 3. It all kicked off today, but of a long update. After work, I needed to call into a few shops at a local shopping park. When I returned, wife was there in the friend's car, blocking the driver door. She had the spare key and would allow entry. After giving plenty of warning, I called 101, police non-emergency line on the advice of her mother, to report the incident. A few minutes later, the friend moved the car. Wife jumped in and wouldn't allow entry. She started the engine, rolled the window down and shouted, "Nobody upsets my son. This is your fault. I'm going to smash the car up." She then drove off. I dialed 999 to report the car still an finance in my name, registered in my name, etc. An officer arrived and after speaking with me said it was a civil matter and no crime was committed. The mother then called to say wife returned home without the car. The officer went round to question her. She refused to say where it was. Nothing was done. I've been out with a friend searching for the car. We heard a rumor it was in a car park in a small village about 20 miles away. We drove there to find it wasn't. However, we spoke to a policeman, different force, who out an ANPR check. The car was spotted 20 minutes after being taken, just outside of the town we live in. He also stated the other police force should have treated this as theft, and she should have been arrested. We didn't find the car, but tomorrow I will speak with the police again to push further on the matter. I may also post on UK legal advice about this. Update. There isn't much more to report. I'm still away from the house, and we still have not spoken. Although I hear she still insists nothing happened. I still don't believe her. I spoke to her son last night. He was distraught. I spoke to him today, and he is doing better. I also text his dad to let him know. He sent a nice response back thanking me for being in the kid's life and for everything I have done for him. Tomorrow, I start the solicitor hunt. Update. I had so many supportive messages from you guys, so I'm sorry I didn't respond to all of them. I had some requests to post an update, and I felt the time is right now. After all this happened, I was struggling. Depression started and steadily got worse and worse. My ex recognized my weakness and tried to lure me back to her. This nearly worked, and I stupidly ended up sleeping with her a while back. That was a huge mistake, which I regretted almost immediately. I was weak, and knowing that made the depression spiral even more. I went to the doctors who diagnosed me with low mood depression. I am now on antidepressants to help keep my mind stable, which has helped massively. I managed to get my head straight and have started divorce proceedings. I have no doubt my ex will try and make this difficult. She is already seeking spousal maintenance from me. Not sure if that's a thing in the US, but here in the UK it is. She has been trying to get me to agree to make payments without a court order. I am refusing this based on the advice of my lawyer, and I am insisting this is worked out with a court order to give myself some protection. On the whole, life is good now. I'm still living with parents, but looking for my own place to move into. For the first time in a very long time, I am feeling happy again. Life seems like it is moving in the right direction, and everything is falling into place. Another positive note is I have now met someone else, and it feels exactly how a relationship should be. She is kind, caring, loving, and supportive. She has a good career, and we share the same goals in life. It was unexpected. It just sort of happened. But it feels so right. Thank you to all the kind messages I got on the first post. They honestly helped me through one of the darkest periods of my life. I know it's not all over yet, and there will be more stress to come. But I can deal with it, especially with the amazing woman I now have by my side. Thank you all.